Ok, eccoci. Non so quanti siate o non siate, soprattutto da che paese veniate, quindi per ora comincio in italiano e poi se necessario we switch to English if needs be. Allora, ok, non è proprio ottimale come visualizzazione, vediamo se forse rende meglio a centrarla, però la chat rimane un po'... vabbè. Allora, sono riuscito a metterlo in italiano. Scusate, ho spostato la finestra di Dropbox. Sì, di Dropbox, Toastbox. Buonasera, buonasera a lei. Sono riuscito a metterlo in italiano, giustamente seguendo il suggerimento che mi era stato dato nella scorsa live. Era la 2, vero? Esatto, eravamo arrivati qui a Proxima Island. Allora, qui devo sostanzialmente fare un paio di cose. Dovrei trovare un elefante. Intanto che... lui era quello che mi aveva venduto l'asciugacapelli. Sarebbe interessante anche fare una sorta di confronto, no? Con la traduzione rispetto all'originale. Purtroppo non si può fare a fronte, ma... Allora, vediamo. Tu sei... Ah, questa credo sia... Sarebbe bello fare anche una sorta di... vedere se ci sono errori di traduzione o se invece è stato tradotto abbastanza bene, eccetera. Uno o due guardie. Perché mi ricorda Pippo questo? It reminds me of Goofy. Ah, errore in basso, vedete? Sposatarsi invece di spostarsi. Questa è deformazione professionale, mi spiace. Aspetta che ho un attimo a vedere. No, non c'entra niente, ok. Che mi era arrivato un Discord, ma non era legato a questo. Dicevamo. Allora, qui non mi ricordo bene come funzionava la questione. So che devo infiltrarmi nel museo di notte col protopack. Non credo che basti andare qui. Qui si va qui. Ovviamente. Forse era al contrario, sai? Forse l'avevo fatto al contrario l'altro giorno. Vediamo se... Non credo sia così semplice. Vabbè, in effetti aveva abbastanza senso. Allora, quindi no, quindi devo andare dall'altra parte, perché di qua a meno che... no. No, qui non si passa, ok. Ah sì, ok, mi ricordo. Forse. Ok, sì. No, mi sfugge qualcosa qui. No, è proprio fattarato in modo da non farmici arrivare, non è inutile riprovarci. Però ripeto, mi sta sfuggendo qualcosa. Forse di qua. No, tutti questi salti sono fatti in modo da non farmici arrivare. Purtroppo nell'1 non c'è la rincorsa, quindi anche... Vediamo. Nel frattempo, come dicevo prima, se arriva qualcuno... Che non è detto, perché... Passo all'inglese. No, qui si arriva qua. Non voglio guardare una guida, se devo essere sincero, ma non voglio neanche stare in giro a girare come un cretino. Ma non c'entro. Cioè, c'entra che questo è il museo e mi va bene. Praticamente dovrei in teoria salire lì, da lì. Poi fare tutta questa parte col protopack e prendere quella bandiera lì. Il problema è che non mi ricordo come fare arrivare la notte. No, no, no. Non ci penso nemmeno. Hey man, don't worry at all. I'm actually trying to get my bearings here. Because I am supposed to infiltrate the museum with a protopack and everything, but... Come on.
Welcome to Proxim City.
That's fair enough. Oh, while I'm here... Actually, you know what? Before doing this, I will do a couple convenience things. First of all, give me some fuel.
Welcome, dear customer, and thank you for honoring my humble establishment with your presence. Move in front of the item that you desire. Gas for 10 voyages cost 30 cashes.
They don't use a plural form in Italian for cashes. Which is weird because I remember them using it for the sequel.
Okay, I'll take them. Not enough cashes.
Oh, really? Oh, you're right. It's not cool. And there's no gold cheat in the first one, I guess. Yeah, I just finished buying all the... Okay, that's cool. But not that. Well, actually, you know what? I don't need the fuel now, anyway. And I have 3 more in any case. I wanted to go first of all to... I'm very scared of going...
Where do you want to go?
Citadel, yeah.
Island.
Actually, while you're here, freak, sorry if it's not the correct pronunciation, I know it's not supposed to be freak like in the F sense, but I hope the pronunciation is the same. Okay. I'll show you later on, maybe in like some minutes after I finish this. Okay, cool. Alright, you talk here. Oh, I forgot that. I'll show you a little snippet of the music thing. So first of all, I will very subtly and surreptitiously copy what I witnessed in your stream earlier.
We are going to close this tavern down. Get out of here.
Very cool. And actually, I was wondering, it was my first stream, not the one you saw the other day, you watched the other day. that I actually came here before the green Grobo was available, let's put it like that, and pretty much killed the bartender, everyone, because I knew there was a way to get the key, but I didn't remember it was with the green Grobo afterwards, so my bad. So it's interesting to understand how the running into walls things work, because it works only if you're up after a certain corner. If you come back later in the story, the bar is locked and there's a red Grobo standing out. Even if you free it, like we did, or only if you don't free it? Only if, oh, that's very cool. That's a very nice bit of cause and effect. Was there anything here apart from the... no, just a cellar. Still kill the red Grobo, then the green one is inside, yeah. So basically they added another lock outside. Right, it's nice. It's like the sequel when progressively as you move on towards the end game, there are more and more and more and more enemies roaming around. Like at first I remember when you get onto Otringal there's just one cop, and later on it's swarming with red Francos or Nartas, whatever they're called in English. No, not here. Right. No, Francos. I remember Twinson's voice saying Francos. In Italian I think they call them Nartas. In the red they both come from two very famous sausage brands in French, I believe, or something like that, or a mix of the two brand names. The other one was in the sewers. No. Oh, got me. That noise of the clone porter, whatever you want to call it, together with the elephant noise, is, as I told you, it still haunts my dreams. Like the elephant noise, teleporter, yeah, whatever. Slow reaction time. Because it always meant when I was little that there was some menace coming through, and 9 times out of 10 it was that green Rabbi Bunny, which I used to call a bee when I was little because it looked like a bee, you know, yellow and black. I remember once a friend of mine was kind of puzzled because I told me, let's play LBA like outside in the garden. And it was like, the heck is LBA? And it was like, I play the B and you play Twinsen and I hit you. And I was like, okay. And I remember I wasn't able to finish this game when I was little, contrarily to the sequel, because I always make that. Let's see if I can do it again, like the first stream. Some bit of Assassin's Creed. It was funnier the first time because the hairdryer, not the hairdryer guy, the hairdryer NPC was passing under here and I basically fell on his head. I was saying I wasn't able to finish this because it was so difficult to get it to run on my PCs. I mean, I didn't change some of them. Well, my father did actually. For some reason, it was so little compatible with I don't know, our components or whatever. Because I remember back in the day, you had to pretty much pinpoint every single component you had in your PC during the installation. You basically had to choose through a list, a very specific list, and if you had something different, sucks to be you, basically.
Where do you want to go? Proxima Island.
And there was always something wrong, like the voice wouldn't work, it wouldn't boot, it wouldn't install, and pretty much I gave up until the sequel came out and it ran perfectly. And then the GOG version came. Well, I actually tried. Yeah, I mentioned Steam. I never had game audio when I first played. Yeah, because I remember those DOS installation screens, those blue installation screens. Like there was a choice of sound cards, and basically, if you wanted the audio to work, you basically had to have like an AdLib 32 or something, or a Sound Blaster. Anything else you had wouldn't work. And I don't think this game supported a PC speaker, but even if it did, I don't think it sounded very cool. Actually, no, I did something wrong. I don't think I can do it because I already didn't do it the first time. But I've heard that the sort of treasure map thingy that you have to do when you get to this island doesn't work if you don't do it immediately the first time. But I might be wrong about this. Mobile here so that I can read the chat more easily. Okay.
Where do you want to go? To Proxima Island.
So I could not go to Rebellion because they were going to shoot me until I get the flag. Just have to do it before you steal from the museum. You have to have spoken to the guy in the library in principle. You're right. Which I didn't do, I believe. So I will do. So the talking to the guy is actually a trigger. I thought it was just for information, like the fact, like you did in your stream earlier, that you went to the shop on Principle, I believe, and it tells you that the cherry syrup is in the pharmacy. I mean, even if you don't know that, you're going to find it anyway. Principle.
To Principal Island.
It's a very interesting stream so far, just using the catamaran, or however it's pronounced in English. Remember, when I was little, I didn't even know the word in Italian. I was like, there's a guy. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I didn't finish it. Because basically, the guy was telling me, "Hey, there's a guy who's going to sell his catamaran to you." And I was like, "The heck is a catamaran?" I mean, obviously, asking my parents what a catamaran was out of the question. Oh, right, I didn't remember that. Well, I have enough anyway.
Want to go? The military camp.
I need a fuel and Proxima as well, if I remember correctly. So I definitely need to get more. But I just need to find 4 caches after I get to Proxima, actually. Yeah, the LBA win version, as you showed. Well, not much the running through walls thing, which I don't really mind. You just have to pay attention to it, and even if it happens once or twice, it's not a big deal. But the possibility of checking things even in other behaviors rather than normal, because I don't think in the sequel I've ever remained in normal. I mean, I'm always either on sporty or aggressive if I need to hit things. So well, actually there's the cashier here too. So I'll do this, then I will go back, I will try doing the treasure step up thingy. I really love the fact that you can steal from. Now, are you the guy?
Good day.
No, you already told me about this. Maybe it shows the...
Good day. Good day.
Good day. No, you're not much of a talker. Alright. Maybe you are the guy. Ouch.
Good day.
What the heck did I run into?
the resentment to protect
Okay, this one tells me
the ones
about the
that don't have a
runes.
pedestal are placed on ancient seals.
Oh, okay. Going in circles. Come on. When I was little, I used to love these buildings like Twinson's house and the library because they always felt so big.
Good day. Come this way.
Okay, you're the same guy as the legend guy. Actually, you are the legend guy. Well, open the door while you're there, and I will speak with the guys near the theater. Yeah, they are decent size. And yeah, and especially if you're used to, you know, those normal games I used to play when I was like 4, seeing these kinds of environments was mind-blowing. What was I saying before about not being bothered by?
I'm a huge Star Wars fan. The saga sequel shall be released soon. So
This is fun because it shows the game's age. In Italian, the first 3 Star. I'm not a fan of Star Wars. I'm just put this in front of me. But the first 3 movies had their titles translated into Guerre Stellari, as you can read here, which is literally Star Wars. But the 4th, 5th, and 6th movie actually were kept into English, as I think for every other language. So the fact that the Italian version is written here is definitely a testament to the age of the game. And the voice actor for this Grobo was definitely French. By the way, he said Star Wars, like Star Wars. Did he open the door? Yep, he did. Yeah, but here's just a book. There's nothing which I already read. Yeah, I remember. So I'm missing the guy I'm supposed to talk to. Unless I already did and forgot about it.
Dear friend.
Oh, he closes it. That's cool. Nope, you're not the guy. Always gets me. I think I've seen everywhere here. Okay, so I guess that's another trigger. Don't kill me, please don't kill me. I just need to wait. Yeah, correct. You're right. Otherwise, there's no way I would know about it. But see, this is why I was saying it's a bit arbitrary. Like some things you can know even though you don't know about them, and others you have to know them in order to know them. That made no sense at all, but you understand what I mean. So it's you have to remember what you can skip and what you cannot. So, no, actually, I'm going the wrong way. Well, actually. Yeah, but I don't mind. So, I definitely need to get the... I'm out of clovers, so I might have to go... Actually, there's the... So the thing... Okay, No, there's no exit here. Can I trick you? Yes, I can. Barely, but I can. Actually, that was a very bad call. So let me think. Citadel,
Where do you want to go?
Principal,
Port Beluga.
Proxima, and send Citadel Principal, and then I need to buy some fuel because I have only one left. Then Proxima, and getting the flag. The other Moor, or Dock, or whatever.
Where do you want to go? To Citadel Island.
Let me see. Well, at least I'm here. I mean, I'm nearby. So I can go directly. Is it the one on this entrance or the other one? If you want to wait to buy gas on Proxima and read the stone under your house, when you get back to Principal, game over. By suiciding in the water, you respawn near the fortress and won't have used any gas. So I get to use a game over. Okay, I will try. Oh, either entrance, so they're both the same. So happy the first time you wrote either, I pronounced it either. So the time I didn't know if you were from the UK or from the US, but I preferred either pronunciation. Actually, my English is probably a mixture of UK and US expressions because I don't know where the heck am I going? With a pretty bad US-like accent.
This contains information and weapons that were amassed for generations to help the heir who will one day be chosen from our descendants. The key to the room was passed down from generation to generation, but our ancestor, Hegesipa,
It's actually translated quite well. Like, it's not
Nobody knows where
in Italian, I mean.
which undoubtedly contains the golden key to the room, is today.
So they translated Leborn with Quercio, which literally means one-eyed. Not one-eyed in the sense of like the monster, the myth monster, how it's called, the Cyclop. But one-eyed in the sense like you have one eye closed because it's hurt or whatever, and the other one working. I don't know if that's the actual meaning in French. I will look it up. So, one-eyed actually, literally. But in French, born does. It actually means one-eyed. That's cool. One-eyed pirates. Oh, the more you know. So back to Principal and drown. Drown, I said, not die here.
Where do you want to go? To Principal Island.
I actually love language stuff, so I'm playing this into Italian not just for the nostalgia factor, but also because I like to hear what they say in English and see if they're writing the same into Italian or whatever. And so far, they've done a very good job, and because translations of video games in Italian are not necessarily extremely great, even now. So for the time, the fact that this was translated was a big deal. Oh, yeah, right. and not only the translation in itself, but the fact that they took a lot of time translating names, places, and stuff, which is not such a given. I mean, many games, even nowadays, they just do the bare minimum. They just translate the dialogues and stuff, and all the names, people names, place names and stuff. True, but I still need the gas to get to the... Well, actually, I don't mind. It's fine. I mean, I have 1 unit. I will use it. And then I can use the library. Phew. I will use it, and then I will go to Proxima and buy it there. And then I will do the treasures thing, and then I will show you about the music. Well, you're right, I'm an idiot. I have Proxima on my mind, like, so. But, like you said, this is not required, because I don't remember doing this back and forth like 3 times, like 2 times actually. I finished this. Or maybe I did, and I don't remember, that's perfectly possible too. Well, no, I will find him myself. Actually, I think it's either him or the rabbit bunny.
I'm interested in the story of Leborn. The
Last when I read, he knows a lot about the history of Leborn. According to the book.
How did you call him?
I'm interested in the story of Leborn, the pirate.
Oh, Leborn the pirate. Okay, I thought he was saying like the one-eyed pirate. What did you call him in English? The librarian? Yeah, the librarian. But librarian might mean anyone, even the one at the beginning, which I really don't think is the one guy I talked to. That's the rabbit bunny. Hey.
I'm interested in the story of Leborn.
Okay, 1. So I think he means that guy. Remember if he's above or below. Of course he's going to be up. No, he's above.
I'm interested in the story of Leborn.
Go see the light.
Okay, so
You know the doctor.
it really is the guy at the beginning. Or is it the guy who opened the door? I think he's the guy who opened the door for me. I just cannot believe he's the guy at the beginning who calls the guard when I speak to him. Oops. And if there's some sort of logic, he would call the guard even if I mention the board.
Good day. Come this way.
No. Maybe after he opens the door. Which is perfectly realistic, because you're not supposed to run indoor.
I'm interested in the story of Leborn.
My dear sir.
Oh,
I have
okay,
been
that's
looking
it.
for Captain Leborn's log for years now. And would you believe that I found it
Translated
today
log
while
very
shopping
well.
at the old burg? Naturally, such a piece should be consulted on site. Go look on the table in
Okay.
the back of the room, next to the projection room.
Right. Dum-de-dum. Dum-de-dum. So projection room where I was before, or right, like earlier. I think it's the.
I'm interested.
Okay, I'll read you the extract.
Yeah, sorry, guy.
You promised to me
Well, you know, this one doesn't really make sense in Italian. I mean, I guess the English version is why is it called Leborn, which is a perfectly legitimate question for an English speaker. But for an Italian, you're basically asking me why is it called one-eyed.
Leborn's treasure.
I guess you can. I mean, we're talking about Twinsons, so I guess he would ask something like that. But still, it might be that not many, you know, Guercio in Italian is actually a specific expression. It doesn't mean, it doesn't, if you don't know the word, you don't know that it means one-eyed. You cannot understand it. But still, it's not an unusual word. It's like asking why was Blackbeard called Blackbeard. I mean, that's sort of understandable, even if you don't know his story. But again, if instead Blackbeard was called whatever Blackbeard is in French, an English speaker would have all the... And actually, it makes me think, because in the French original version, probably the question was the same, but again, born means one-eyed in French, so a French speaker would know that. Whatever. Oh, okay, so he's telling me the sequence. Perfect. So now we can go to Proxima. And I still have one guess. What time is it? 36. No, I have enough. To abbreviate, just walk. Okay, I will read it later when I reach the place. Well, actually. Whew. Just walk from the top of the slope to the bottom of the slope in discrete mode. Okay, so that's not as elaborate as he makes it out to be. I guess they needed to make it a bit broad.
Where do you want to go?
Not to frustrate
To Port Beluga.
players. Because the sphere is supposed to give me... I mixed them up because globo with an L instead of an R means globe in Italian, so grobo and globo, I tend to mix them up. Because grobo doesn't really mean anything in Italian. I mean, it definitely doesn't remind you of an elephant.
Where do you want to go?
At least Rabbi Bunny has bunny in it.
To Proxima Island.
Might be some scientific term for an elephant and I don't know it. But if they call Franco's like sausages, I'm not very optimistic. And I've been reading that Fanfrock is actually an existing surname in English. It's not just like a comical sounding name. And they were mentioning an impersonator of Queen Elizabeth whose surname was Fanfrock, if I remember correctly. I also think it's not a conscious choice. Like, I still think they wanted to have a sort of comical sounding surname for the weird hairdo that Quetches have. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I think frock means something to do with hair, like hairstyle or something similar. And I just didn't do what I was supposed to do because I was talking. I don't know if I need to reset the area, but just in case. And but it was very I don't know if they ever explicitly mentioned it. Well, if the news okay, of course I didn't need to reset, but anyway, I don't know if they've ever mentioned it aloud. I think they did, because otherwise the news wouldn't be out. It's really interesting to know that they modeled Fanfrock on, I hope that's a preposition for model, the model found from on the French
must go.
exploitation.
To Proxima Island.
There was some sort of not so. Yeah, I'm trying not to name him or say what kind of politician he was, because you know how Twitch is these days. But let's say he wasn't exactly on the left side of the spectrum. So I guess dictatorship suited him quite well. Well, it's mostly about the external appearance. I mean, if you search for him and you look him in the face, honestly, they say he resembles Thumbfrog, but to be frank, I don't see such a resemblance. I guess a little bit, maybe when he was younger. If I look for the year, it's debatable, I think. I should stop speaking. Is this the slope, or am I getting the slope wrong? I wouldn't call this a slope. No, this is the slope. I mean, at least this is a slope. Okay. Didn't even need to. No. Is it a globo or? I didn't even need to finish one.
It seems that you two have found an authentic secret map of Captain Lebogne. Do me a favor, would you? Give a link here, who lives next to the bazaar. Back is a coffee pot. I'm so ashamed. I should have given it back long ago.
Is this supposed to be Italian? Like an Italian speaking in English? Because that sounds weird to me that I'm an Italian. It sounds like Mario speaking. So now, because it speaks like this, but I don't think that Italians speak like this in English. I mean, it sounds very comical to me. Maybe if some Italians will come from the south, but I'm not sure. And I feel like an idiot speaking like this. Next to the bazaar, and I guess he gives me the pad. Was it here? Yeah, the bazaar was here. First of all, just give me the fuel.
Welcome, dear customer, and thank you for honoring my humble
Dear customer, they wrote noble customer in Italian. And thank you for the honor of visiting my bazaar. That's a bit... I mean, it's actually an interesting characterization.
Okay, I'll take them.
You've just replenished some of your gas supply.
Okay, we'll get the pad and then we'll show you the music thing, because it's 7, which is 17 minutes from now. I need to go down to dinner, and then I'll be back later, but probably not with LBA. Okay, I don't even need to do anything. A list of some places in which you can find a rare plant and some boxes. Oh, okay, so this is for the... Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't for the keypad. I was remembering wrong. So this is exactly option. The Admiral Citadel, yeah, got it. Cellar of the Tavern, got it. A clover is kept by a soldier that you can find between sacks of sand. I guess it's the one in the harbor of Principle. It gives you 3 clovers, or possibly the one in Citadel Island. Anyway, another clover is kept by a clone in the middle of the ruins of Principle Island. Another clover is on the roof of the Maritime Museum. Another is kept by a grubble clone to the right of the entrance of the teleport center, and another by a soldier in front of Thunfrog's fortress. It doesn't mention the one in the mushrooms of the water tower, which was my only to-go clover for a lot of the game. So, okay, so basically I need to trigger the alarm now of the museum, if I remember right. But I don't I need, no, the pads maybe was for another thing. Anyway, change scene. I don't think there was something like that. You want help or do you want to figure it out? Well, just give me a few minutes, a couple minutes more like. And if I don't figure it out, I remember I have to press this. But I don't remember if I can do it now or I need something else, because I remember there being a keypad. Okay, I thought it was following me. I seem to remember that I had to take a side entrance to get to the museum, but I don't remember if it's actually to escape. Maybe I got it. So, sorry. Come on, those hitboxes. Oh, now I get why they have those sort of posters.
I'm looking for it.
No, I'm looking for... Okay, maybe it doesn't make me press it again, because it's only a one-off trigger. Okay, so now I can reach the museum. No, I cannot reach the museum because the elevator says that you can only use it to go out of the museum. You're going to hit me, aren't you? No. Yes. No, never mind. So, okay, so if I remember correctly, the alarms are only on the wooden tiles, but I might be wrong. No, apparently not. Okay, so now I can just hoof it. I hope that's an expression. No, probably you say when you run somewhere, or run away, not when you actually run, and that's it. Okay, right, there's no shortcut key, and this filter is lovely. Okay, you're there. Do I need anything else apart from the flag?
You've just stolen a pirate's flag.
Okay. But now I have the flag, so if for any reason I need to reload the game, I'm good. I mean, I have the flag. I think the carpet doesn't have sensors, but you know, I wouldn't bet on that. And also the stairs. Technically shouldn't have sensors. Definitely no sensors here. I've heard the guy Not the guy, the machine that only hits you when you're... Okay. That's not what I need, but I might need to go there to stop. I want to see the pattern of the... I think it just goes around the... Okay, so it goes like that. Then I guess it will come right. Nope. Can I? Yes. Okay, so this is not... Okay, he does like that. I'm not moving, so please go away. That's unfair! Well, no harm done. I mean, you hit me. That's definitely where I'm supposed to go. I don't know if it goes that far. I don't think it does. Just in case, I will wait until he hits me again. It hits me again. Not used to saying it because we don't have it in Italian. We only have male and female for everything. So for me, that's a he. Is there anyone? Yes, I hear it on the left. You know, these days directional audio is all the rage, but this game has it too because I'm hearing it only sort of on my left headphone and not. Don't hit me. Don't hit me, because if you hit me, I go backwards. Okay. Again, I'm not sure I'm supposed to get this, but you know.
You've just found the key lost by your ancestor.
So, I guess this works to open the door under my house, if logic serves me well. And technically, if I leave and continue, I should be back at the entrance with all the items I've got. Okay, so I will just do that. Oh, for a second there was the... There's still a part of this part that puzzles me. Come on. And it's that... about the key card. I didn't need it. To lower the platform. Which platform? This one I just used to go back to the sewers? Why in the museum? I don't remember doing any. Unless it used it by itself. I did use it to enter here once. Yes. I did use it here, but I just entered and did nothing. Oh, or maybe... So you mean that without the key card... Okay, so without the key card you're not able to go down. Oh, so I did what I was supposed to do without knowing it, because if I didn't do this, I couldn't enter the museum via the sewers, I guess. Because the platform would be up instead of down. So it was entirely a stroke of luck that I did go down here yet the other time. Yeah, and then there was the thing about the barrels, that without the barrels you were able to dodge to go down before the grubber ball hits you, and then there was the problem with the keycard bug and everything. So okay, I will finish here the game, and I will switch very quickly for a couple of minutes to the music software, so just to show you how it would turn out. Okay, so let me close the game, otherwise I hear the music. So you should see the software window now and nothing else, and you should also hear me more or less the same as before. I had to change the mic settings. So this is the main software windows, and this is just a test, actually more than a test of a part of LBA music that I did in like half an hour earlier, just to show how it would work out. It's a part of the main theme. You should be able to hear it. I'll turn it up a little. And the thing about doing this live would be, well, doing this from scratch, of course, and then adding some stuff. Like, I remember when this part kicks in, there's also some kind of bass, so I was thinking of adding it. And you would actually hear me putting the notes one by one, like this. Like this. And this is the oops. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. And this becomes like this. Or adding like other stuff, like the basic drum rhythm that you have here. Thanks. I'm basically copy pasting it because it's quicker. Actually, it's free here. And then it starts again. But I was speaking with a friend of mine, and he was telling me, yes, but you should do some kind of, you should sprinkle in some kind of, how can I say, live playing parts as well. Like even if you don't need to do that because you do it all by ear. Like for example, I wanted to do the other part, like adding, I think it's more like an oboe, or whatever or however it's pronounced in English. Like the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. No, it's 7, so it's 6 and 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So like this. Just to see, to show you how it will go. The only thing I'm not sure about is hearing all those wrong notes until I get the correct one. One more. Oops, that was one earlier. This is right, but no, it's only one. So this is a bit of trial and error for me as well. And this should be legato. So like this. I just said it has to be legato. Okay. There's a legato, there's a wrong legato somewhere here. There's something wrong. You hear it's, well, I will do correct when the time comes. I guess that feels maybe quite easy when you're as experienced as clearly, but to me the way you're doing that so quick is mind-blowing. Well, it's really all a matter of, well, having a good ear, I guess. And, well, I've practiced it, of course. I mean, I don't know if you can hear it. I will move a little, I will turn up the gain on the microphone a little. And I will see if I don't get feedback. Okay, I don't get feedback, just a little. And I will move quickly to the keyboard. We'll have another chair. I don't know if you can still hear. Can you hear the sound? Perfect. Because it's coming from the speakers, then have to be captured by the microphone. So, for example, if I want to play this part, imagine I'm hearing it from the soundtrack. I was thinking of doing like live with the cam and everything. Okay, we have this part like with the oboe and everything. So, first of all, we find the pitch of the first chord, which is nope, it's a bit lower. Okay, this one. Then we take the oboe actually, which is here. I changed oboe. And I have the oboe. And I put some strings in my left hand. So basically it becomes like this. Actually the easy part, because it's probably one of the easiest bits in the LBA themes. The other parts are a bit not difficult to play, but they're a bit complex, so I can get the general gist, I don't know the pronunciation. Well, it's like one of those things you think everyone can do. Like I grew up thinking this was. I mean, I grew up thinking that. Gist. Okay, thank you. I grew up thinking that music, not prowess, but like music ear was kind of normal for everyone. I mean, hearing a note, I'm not saying a song, but a note, everyone would be able to reproduce it on an instrument. I mean, not necessarily on an instrument like a trumpet that you need to actually know how to breathe and etc. But like on a piano with a list of notes you just have to press. When you hear a note, you would be able to even try them all out until you find the correct one. But what I discovered was that a friend of mine, and we were playing together, by the way, which was befuddling. He was hearing one single note, and he kept getting it wrong on the piano. I was like, can't you hear it's not the same note? I was like, no. So that's why I understood that probably not many people get it immediately. And that's kind of humbling But the problem is that I'm not trained, like I haven't studied, I haven't been into conservatory or anything, so it's all self-taught. So of course, my playing is, I'm getting feedback, don't get feedback, I'll move away. Okay, that's cool. So for example, the main theme, I remember it and I can sort of play it, but if I play it now, I can try with a piano maybe. It's like anything, it's easier with practice and you get better with practice, but having a good hearing is part of an innate ability you can learn. Yeah, I think so too. And I will turn this off. Turn these off especially. Turn the game back the way it was. And come back to the piece. So I was thinking in the end to do a mix of these two things. A bit of writing here in the software and a bit of, I'll save it because I like it, and a bit, no actually no, because this part was wrong, so we'll redo it later. And a bit of playing. Of course we might, since I have this, I'm better at improvising that, oops, that was the microphone stand. Sounds like it's going to be good, I'm excited already. Oh, that's very cool to hear, I appreciate that. And we can even throw in some impro stuff if you want, because like we can add some kind of, like for example, people can ask me, play this song or write this song from the soundtrack, and we can do it like on the fly, I guess that's how you would say it in English. Or on the spot. No, on the fly sounds correct for some reason. Yeah. No, not on the fly. Possibly on the spot. Right there. And yeah, this felt on the fly perfect. This felt like one of our lessons in university of all this, especially like on the fly, on the spot, on the lam, which they told us means basically running away from the law, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's basically it. So I think I'll be going to dinner now, and nobody knows all the English phrases by English people. Well, actually, I was thinking earlier that um, um, what was I going to say? That the errors that foreign people make, I think it's the same for any language. Oh, you're welcome. I will be streaming LBA definitely soon enough. Again, yeah. The errors of English people, of foreign people in English are different than the errors of English native speakers because of how the language teaching is and learning is structured. Like, for example, a foreign people would never mix their like they are and their like their own child. I mean, it doesn't even. We don't even imagine how it can be that those can be mixed. Or, like a foreign people would never write would have with would off instead of would have. But these are two errors that I see are very common with supposedly English native speakers. American people, more like. And but of course we do different mistakes. Like I mix lots of like American and British terminology because I know only the basics. Like they teach you in school that from this side of the Atlantic you say lorry and they say truck. Yeah, native speakers are responsible for so much language corruption. Yeah, it's the same in I think it's the same with any language. I mean, because we know it's natively, like because our teacher, if our parents taught us, but at the same time, we don't really understand the rules behind the language unless you actually study it. You speak it because you know it, but you don't know the underlying rules. And this is something that foreign people who learn the language at school and pretty much only at school know very well. But for example, I mix lots of spellings. Like I know some words in British English have the S, whereas they have the Z or Z. Yeah, and even that I know that one English says Z and the other one says Z, but I wouldn't know which one. And what else? I apologize. I know it's written with an. Technically, it's written with an S in British English and with a ZZ, whatever, in American English. Americans use a Z, yeah, or a Z. I think Z is British and Z is American, but I might be getting them wrong. And there's also defense with a C or with an S. Or armor and color with you are and theater center with the SWAT RE and all. But anyway, all these things they teach you at school, and they don't teach you anything else. Like they don't teach you any expressions except for the very basic ones. Actually, I find them easier to understand, like from a spoken point of view. Like I have a bit of trouble understanding British English when it's spoken and I don't have subtitles. Like your stream was understandable, but I still, like your accent was weird to me, weird in a good way, in the sense, not what I'm used to hearing when I hear British English. But again, my British English is pretty much limited to Harry Potter actors, and that's it. It doesn't help, but it helps in the sense that since there are people who speak fast, if you never get used to hearing them, you'll never get used to them. And since, okay, if you're abroad or you know that you're speaking to a foreign audience, you may speak slower, but technically you're not doing them any favors. I mean, they will never learn if you have to. If they don't, have some obstacles they can overcome. But Scottish is even less intelligible to me. For example, when some of the characters in the Lord of the Rings, like the two hobbits, Merry and Pippin, if I'm watching it in English, I really have lots of trouble understanding them without subtitles. But Americans, Some Scottish accents are fine, others are like a foreign language. Yeah, and like, I don't know if it's Scottish, English, or whatever, or Gaelic, Welsh, Gaelic. Instead we say Galles, so Gaelic came to mind instead of Welsh. Like the Cockney dialect, I swear to you, I read lots of descriptions of how it's supposed to work, and honestly, I can't wrap my mind around it. Like, to me, it sounds like they're just replacing words with words that end the same way without any kind of criterion. So I don't know if there's any underlying rules, but I really find it super interesting because I'm like, this apparently doesn't have any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Have any sense is Italian. Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't understand either. Yeah, but it's really interesting because there has to be some kind of logic behind it. It's not random. Cannot be random. Otherwise, people wouldn't understand each other if it were random. Oh, and also if it were. No one says if it were. That's what, like, they teach you in school. English does have subjunctives. Use them. So everyone is like, if it was. And I'm always, no. You should say if it were. If I were. Because it's a subjunctive. Same as, I remember that I ask that you be removed from service, and I'm like, that be is a subjunctive, I think, at least. But I think this is pretty much uncommon in normal English as well, by English speakers. So, but I like to use these expressions since they exist, and because otherwise they would be lost. And Italian is actually in a similar situation, that many expressions, like especially with the subjunctives, we have some less correct alternatives that are getting more and more accepted, and in this way we are sort of allowing the correct expressions to die away, basically. And that's not very, that's uncalled for, if you ask me. But you know, I love languages, so my views are biased, if that's the pronunciation. I mean, I understand the language evolves and we should not consider it as something that's set in stone, but still, that doesn't actually mean that you should use less correct expressions. I mean, when you're speaking with friends, I understand if you want to say things more quickly, and you use some shorter expressions that might not be 100% correct, but still, the correct expressions exist, so why not use them? Anyway, I'll go to have dinner quickly because at 8 o'clock I've scheduled another stream, and I feel morally inclined to respect the times that I write, even though pretty much only you and my other friends are technically my viewers right now. But still, I like to respect the times that I set, so that in a very far and unthinkable future where I will have more viewers, I will be used to respecting them. Thanks, and well, we'll chat later maybe. I mean, I'm always here, so whether I'm working or not working, I'm always here on Discord, on the PC, or on the mobile. So thanks a lot, very much. I'm not supposed to say a lot very much. I'm supposed to choose between. So thanks a lot, really, for coming by, passing by again. And bye-bye. See you next time. And the stream program is here.